Hello and welcome to another edition of Addition. I'm your host, Addy. I'm a product manager at Microsoft, a mathematician, a futurist, tech optimist, artist, and creator. And I'm here every day, Monday through Friday, bringing you the news, the hot topics in tech, an update on the markets, some career advice, and letting you know what I'm geeked out about. So before we get into today's news and market updates, go ahead and hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube. As you can see, I am blonde today. It's a blonde kind of Friday. If you want to see me in the office, I actually shot some TikToks yesterday when I officially moved in yesterday to the Microsoft Atlanta office. So go ahead and check me out on TikTok at AdditionPod, Twitter at AdditionPod. My personal Twitter is at Addy, and Instagram is at Addition with Addy. And of course, if you want these episodes directly into your email inbox along with the detailed show notes, subscribe to the Substack, additionpod.substack.com. Okay, all right, let's get into it. So the markets, they have dropped across the board again. So crypto, Bitcoin is down 4.12% over the past 7 days and is back below 30,000 at 28,812. Ethereum is down 6.89%, hovering around $1,932. So I talked about this week, this idea of bouncing along the bottom. So the crypto markets, they've dropped somewhat dramatically, and now they're bouncing up and down across a bottom until it finds a solid bottom to go back up. So that's what we're seeing in these fluctuations. As well as, let's look at the stock markets. S&P 500 down 5.18% on the past 5 days. NASDAQ down 6.35% in the past 5 days. So markets are not recovering yet. They're bouncing on the bottom. Traders are taking advantage of these ups and downs, these arbitrage opportunities, but still no end in sight. As I mentioned before, I didn't think the markets were done dropping. They're still going down. We shall see where they are next week. So hot topics in tech. So I don't like to do super negative stories, but this one needs to be a lesson for everyone who's using DeFi or decentralized finance on Ethereum or whichever blockchain you're using. So Stablegains faces a lawsuit after losing $440 million on UST. So if you missed my episodes last week where I go into what is UST and what was the Terra ecosystem meltdown, I will link those in the show notes. But I quote from the article from the Crypto Briefing. Yield generation app Stablegains is facing a lawsuit after losing $44 million of users' funds. Despite previously claiming it used USDC to generate yields, a recent update revealed that the company was keeping all funds in UST. End quote. So USDC, and I will link the stablecoin episode that I did a few weeks ago, but USDC is a stablecoin that is backed by assets and is transparent about which assets they're holding. Whereas UST is not backed by anything. It's an algorithmic stablecoin that we all saw dramatically drop last week. So as you can imagine, these users of Stablegain saying they had the understanding that their money was in USDC when it was actually on the Anchor protocol generating yield from UST. So I quote from the article. The company marketed itself as a simple and safe way for its users to benefit from advances in financial technology. In reality, Stablegains took customers' US dollar deposits, converted them to UST, and deposited them into the Anchor protocol. Anchor, a Terra-based lending and borrowing DeFi platform, guaranteed 18% APY on UST deposits before the algorithmic stablecoin lost its peg and crashed the Terra ecosystem. So, end quote. So, in addition, this story, Stablegains was actually backed by Y Combinator, which is the most prestigious startup accelerator, and it was in their winter 2022 batch and had received over $3 million in funding from several venture capital firms. I quote from the article, Stablegains founders had graduated from top London universities and previously worked at reputable companies in executive positions, end quote. So be careful who you trust out there. Read the fine print, invest wisely, and I hope everyone has a sober takeaway from that story. So moving to the next story. So we're talking about Coinbase again. So I had mentioned a few days ago that Coinbase was going to be cutting costs, and they got a little bit more specific about how they are going to cut costs. So this is from the information. Coinbase slashes costs, freezes hiring amid a crypto crash. So I quote, cryptocurrency trading firm Coinbase, whose revenue has shrunk amid a downturn in the sector, is pausing new business projects, freezing hiring for 2 weeks, and aiming to slash its cloud spending on Amazon Web Services, among other cost-cutting measures, according to a pair of internal emails sent to employees this week and viewed by the information. At the same time, the company, whose stock fallen by more than 75% in the past 6 months, also told its 5,000 or so employees it's giving them more stock grants to offset half of the difference between the grants it made earlier this year and the stock's closing price on Friday last week, one of the emails said. End quote. So Coinbase is cutting where it can, but it's also compensating the employees that have lost a significant amount of compensation. I think this Coinbase team is handling this really well. Their company is in uncertain times. This is their first downturn, and not their first crypto downturn, but their first market-wide downturn. So I think they're being really smart here, and hopefully this will help, but I don't know. If crypto prices don't recover soon, Coinbase is going to be in a lot of trouble. Okay, moving on to the career segment. So since I have been sharing with you all, there are layoffs, hiring freezes, offers being rescinded. I just want to make sure that you guys are actively gaining mentors and sponsors inside and outside of your company. And I know everyone talks about mentors and sponsors, and I know you're probably tired of hearing about it, but I cannot emphasize the importance of this. You never know when the market is going to turn, and you're going to need a mentor or sponsor on your side. So you need to be building these mentor and sponsor relationships when you don't need them. So when you do need them, you've already established a relationship with those people, and they will be more likely to go out of their way to help you. So a mentor is someone who you can go to for advice. They're either further along than you in your career, or they have knowledge about a certain industry that maybe you're new to. They're wise and have wisdom that they can share with you. And where sponsors are people who are internal advocates for you in the company. So when someone says, who's up for promotion, who should we promote? They say you. So those are two very different types of people. A mentor may not be on your same team or even at your same company, whereas a sponsor is someone that absolutely should be in your company and ideally within the same organization. Even better if they have if your skip level manager is their manager. So the way to build these relationships is reach out for one-on-one chats. Be ready with questions. Don't expect them to drive the conversation. You are the one that's asking them for help. If you can, buy them a cup of coffee. You can send them, you can order lunch for them, do anything to make it seem less like work for them and more like a win-win situation. So always be asking what they need help with, what you can do. You may not think you can do anything, but who knows, they may be hiring. They may need some insight on something that you happen to have. So just make sure it's a mutually beneficial situation and not a situation where they are taking advantage of you. So what am I geeked out about this week? Honestly, it's Friday. I'm getting together with friends later this evening, and I plan on thoroughly enjoying my weekend. The markets have not been fun. The news has not been fun. And we're approaching the end of our fiscal year. So these are, very high pressure times. So I'm just focusing on getting the relaxation and restoration that I need, and also prioritizing fun, joy, and happiness, regardless of what's going on in the world or the markets. And I encourage you to do the same. All right, shorter episode today because there wasn't too many news, but again, if you're not already subscribed, subscribe, like the video, follow me on social media. All the links are in the show notes. If you're listening to the podcast, please rate a 5-star review. It is free for you to do, and it makes a huge difference for me. All right, so I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you enjoy your weekend. Talk to you next time.